Hi, neighbors. Happy, sorry, happy January 27th. It's a cold and snowy day. Mayor Angel here saying hello. I wanted to make this video really quick and tell you guys about the tour that Commissioner Stanfill and I had of City Hall and all of our departments. It was actually really fun. We got to go and learn a little bit about what everybody in City Hall does. We toured, of course, the fire department, the police department, and the wastewater plant. We also toured Public Works. So we got to see all the trucks, all the equipment, all the machinery. It was really, really a lot of fun. And we got to ride in a fire truck, which was pretty cool. We also got to tour like the whole library, not just the places that are open to the public, but we got like the secret tour, which was super fun. And I really enjoyed it. One of the things I liked the most was getting to spend time with the firefighters and the police officers and to learn a little bit about what happens behind the scenes, what their days look like, how many hours they work. I was really surprised at how many hours the firefighters work every week. It's way more than 40. So when I say that they're underpaid, I mean it. They're incredibly underpaid. And I really want to work on fixing that. It was really interesting to chat with them and to see like their kitchen area and their sleeping quarters and things like that. Their sleeping quarters were really sparse and, they're working 24-hour shifts. They had some pretty good looking mattresses, but it looks like they need some nicer stuff in there. So hopefully we can get some good budget for them. I did talk to, I think it was, gosh, I'm forgetting his title, if it's Sergeant or Detective Dibble. Oh my goodness, my mistake. But I asked him about whether or not our canines had all the equipment that they needed, and he assured me that they did. They actually have some kind of monitors on the vehicles that make sure that things don't get too hot or cold. And I've seen, and you may have too, that, at least one police dog somewhere else, not in Three Rivers, but somewhere else actually perished because a vehicle got too hot, and we would never want to see that happen. So I'm really happy to hear that we have things, already put in place to make sure that that's not the case here. And I'm a dog lover, as you probably know. And I just really enjoyed it. It was fun to see what things really look like behind the scenes. I got to see how much salt we have, like for our road salt. And I learned that they have to just estimate that. Amy Roth, our director of public works, has to just figure it out herself. There's no magic formula. And as you can imagine, this year, we're probably using a lot more salt than anticipated. I guess she can eventually order up to 30% more or 30% less than her initial guess. But I give Amy credit for figuring out how much salt we need, because that's not a calculation I would like to make. I really enjoyed learning that we're going to be needing some new fire trucks. And I got to, like I said, got a ride in one, but I got to see our ambulances and see what's kept on our ambulances and learn about all the safety equipment. And I'm thinking about those things in terms of what to do with our budget. We do a new budget every year, every summer, and for the following year. And it's really important that we're ready for these things. When I was at the Lockport Township meeting, I was really impressed because they needed to put in their share of how much it will cost for a new fire truck out of Centerville. And they had it figured out. They just decided which account to take it from, but they knew this was coming. They had it figured out. And I was envious of them because they knew what they were doing. And right now we don't. As I said in my last video, we have over $8 million that's just kind of sitting around. We don't know what we're going to do with it. So that's subject for that video. But we're going to need a new fire truck or two in the near future. And oh my goodness, our price is going up. It's the same for us as it is for everything at City Hall. But it was really a really fun day, and just getting to know people. We got to see, let's see, like I said, behind the scenes at Public Works, got to hang out with John Beebe for a little while. He is our city liaison for the Planning Commission, and he does about 6,000 things here for our city. He's probably one of my favorite city employees, and got to hang out with him and learn a little bit more about what he does. I learned that some folks get to bring their dogs to work, which is great. I know that there's Walter who comes to City Hall. I think his name is Walter. Sometimes I think it's Winston, but I think it's Walter. He is a real cute pup, and I'll notice him when paying my water bill. But I thought it was really cool that people get to bring their dogs. I really love that. As for what we got to see at the wastewater treatment plant, wow, that is quite an operation. They do some tours for schools and stuff, but maybe there should be a public tour because it was really, really interesting. And that tour was provided by Taylor. He's our wastewater treatment plant director, head of. I'm sorry, I don't remember his exact title, but he's the guy who runs it. He's the guy who does all the stuff. And we got to see how they test the water and how they make sure that what we're putting out is okay. He said that actually what we put into the river is cleaner than the river water itself. And I was really happy to hear that. We got to walk around through all like the big tanks and stuff and see what's actually happening there and like learn about the microbes and the this and that's. And we went into this one really big room that had this like giant grinder thing on it, which, by the way, don't put things down your toilet that don't belong going down your toilet, because they go somewhere and they go into that thing and they have to be taken care of. But we actually got to smell everybody's poo. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It smelled very earthy. Whatever they're doing to it is pretty good, and I was impressed that it didn't smell half as bad as I thought, because when I walked in, I didn't know what was in that room, and I found out later. So I want to thank everybody from City Hall, from the DDA. Angie gave us a little tour of her office. Aaron at the library, John. We heard from Leslie, our city clerk, Bobby, our finance director. Like I said, our chief Bowling, and Chief Schoon, police and fire chief. And it was really, really a lot of fun. And of course, Amy Roth, who took us around and showed us all the cool equipment. We got to see where all the street signs are. And it was really enlightening. And it gave me a really good perspective to see where we're already spending money, where we might need to spend money, and to learn a little bit about the human beings who make our city run every day. And there are a lot of folks working really hard to make sure that everything runs properly and that, everything happens the way it should. As I like to all the time, I want to thank our snowplow drivers. Wow, those guys are doing a great job. I am so happy and so grateful. I've been really impressed since I moved to Maple Street, because they always just keep us in such good shape that if I hadn't lived here for a long time, I would definitely feel like I was getting special treatment for being the mayor, but they just always do this good of a job. So enough about that, but thank you guys for watching. I don't know if this will probably be the video that gets 3 views, because nobody cares what goes on in our city departments, but I can tell you everybody's doing a great job, and I'm super grateful for the tour. And I hope everybody has a nice night and stays warm. Take care out there. Have a good one. Bye-bye.